Assalamu alaikum. Hassan Sharik, regulated Canadian immigration consultant. It's been a while that I've posted video on my social media platforms of Sharik Immigration. In fact, it's been a while that I've posted videos about Canadian immigration in specific. By no means that I'm not practicing Canadian immigration or that Canadian immigration is not happening. It's just that I've been a little busy wherein I've been traveling between Canada, Dubai, and Pakistan. Set up a few new offices, one in Dubai and one in Lahore, Pakistan, and a bit of a realignment in terms of our biggest business focus. We're now focusing a lot more on um, student consulting for various English-speaking countries. And part of the reason is that the Canadian immigration policy is shifting as well, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about in today's video. Um, so most of you know um, who follow me and who are interested in Canadian immigration. We've got a new government in Canada. The new prime minister, the new political leadership is realigning the overall macro level policies, and that has resulted in shifting of priorities when it comes to Canadian immigration policies as well. Um, Probably much of this was needed, and what is happening for good. But let's see what actually is happening. So there has been policy changes with temporary foreign worker programs. We've seen LMIAs, which was something that was being exploited in the past. Uh, Major shifts into that, and that has seen that specifically in the last 12 months, the number of temporary foreign workers being approved and coming to Canada has greatly reduced. Um, this is going to help in the long term. At the same time, we've seen there's an overall restrictive policy when it comes to temporary residents of any kind. So the international student sector has had its hit as well, um, as we saw that just a few days ago. The immigration level plans, which were announced for 2026, 2027, 2028, now there is a capping on international students. For 2026, the capping has been put at about 150,000 international students that will be allowed. But some really good things within that, uh, things that I really support, the policy matters that I really support. Now there is no capping, no requirement of a PAL for students who are looking at doing their PhDs and masters in Canada. Now, this is the kind of student body that was required. Not saying that undergraduate students are not required. Canadian universities, a large number of their recruitment is for undergraduate students, but that's required in public institutions. But there is the need of attracting more and more masters and PhD students into Canada. These people bring in a lot of expertise. Once they'll finish their studies, they'll be able to find meaningful jobs, and they'll contribute well, and they'll easily be able to find permanent residency pathways. Something that was primarily missing when we saw that um, a lot of international students coming into Canada in the years 2022 and 2023 and the beginning of 2024 were people who were not the right profile. A lot of them were in their late 40s, early 50s even, and they were coming for diplomas and certificates in various colleges. Now, their skill set was not the right one, and that's where we had the whole problem of such a large number of temporary residents on ground who were then not able to find meaningful jobs, and they were not able to move. towards permanent residency pathways. And that's where a lot of them, started looking for alternatives, in the sense that the refugee system was being exploited, the HNC system was being exploited, and so many more. What I see is that the policy shift is in the right direction. There are certain things that we can always complain about. Right now, I feel that the kind of visa refusals that are coming for Canadian study visas, that seems like a blanket refusal policy. Good applicants within this application load should be allowed in. Also, what I feel is that some of the categories, the processing delays are too much, and that goes against the attraction of brand Canada. But putting that aside, those little things and these things happen when there's a major policy shift. There's always that little collateral damage. But I think with these restrictive policies, what is going to happen is that a lot of temporary residents who are on ground are going to be absorbed by the system. There is this news that in 2026 and maybe in 2027 as well, but for sure in 2026, there is going to be a TR to PR pathway similar to what we there is going to be a TR to PR pathway similar to what we saw a few years back. With that, a lot of TRs on ground will be absorbed into the system. They'll get the PR, and that will be out. Most likely in 2026, we'll see that a lot of TRs who are not the right fit will have to leave Canada. Because right now the supply of temporary residents, work permit holders, study permit holders has been reduced. So a lot of those people on shore right now will be exhausted, and quite likely 2027 things will start moving towards positive. My area of interest, which is international student recruitment, and PR pathways for international students, I'm very positive about it. All those folks who are looking at studying in Canada right now, and they have good profiles and they want to study in public universities in Canada, regardless of the location, regardless of the major, you should not back out of your plan. Reason being, if you start your bachelor's right now, you're going to graduate in about 4 years. We're talking 2020, 2030 or 2031. By that time, this situation that we have right now, in terms of job saturation, some economic turbulence, this will be settled in Canada. And that is when you will have great PR pathways. So I see positive outlook in a couple of years, especially for students. I see really good future in Canada. It's going to return back to the dream destination that it always was. With this, I'll ask for leave. I've tried to, sort of touch upon a few points that are close to my practice, my focus areas. You'll likely see me more often. Keep supporting the channel, keep following, keep putting up your questions, and let me know what you're interested in knowing about Canadian immigration and study in Canada. So, with that, I'll ask for leave. Take care. Bye bye.